Hello, everyone. You are watching Frame by Frame. I'm your host, Dania Josh.
And I'm your co-host, Josh Recor. And we also have the lovely and talented Trinity Parker directing for us today. How are you, Trinity?
I'm good. What about you guys?
Oh, hanging in there. Dania?
It was like great, always grateful. And I'm happy for having a special guest today.
We do. We have Cameron Miller, and he's a photographer. Yes. And he also has quite a few other very interesting skill sets that we'll let him tell you about. So how about it, Dania? You ready to get started?
Let's get started. Cameron, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We made it. We made it. So tell me first, how was your day?
My day has been good. I've been at work all day. It's kind of just been a regular day, but it's good. I think there's a little bit of sunshine out right now, so can't complain. It's been kind of a rainy week. Yeah.
So if you want to introduce yourself to the audience, well, who you are?
Sure. So my name's Cameron Miller. I am a poet and a photographer. I do live typewriter poetry for strangers at markets and events and weddings, and I also do portrait photography, including weddings and things like that, like in natural light, photographs of people. And I'm from Augusta. This is where I grew up, and that's probably a decent introduction.
I like when you said for strangers. So why?
Yes. So it doesn't have to be for strangers, but I think that's the better elevator pitch, because I can write you a poem on the spot without knowing anything about you except for the prompt that you give me. So it's really fun. It's kind of a creative way to interact with people and to share art with people and to speak into whatever their situation is, or maybe just give them a fun word. So, yeah.
That's really special. That's why he got my eyes. I was like,
he's got such an incredible aesthetic, like with what you do. And I think the typewriter poetry that you do kind of lends itself to your photography as well, where everything just kind of looked like it was pulled, like it reminds me of like a romance novel or a love story or something like that. Like it looked like it's being pulled out of it looks like it was being pulled out of the notebook. And I was like, this is fantastic. Actually, this is such a it's very captivating.
I appreciate it. That's a great compliment. Wow.
Oh. No.
Actually, your brand name is
Novel Wonder.
Novel Wonder.
Mm-hmm.
So you are not far, Josh.
Yeah, Novel Wonder. Yeah. There's, I guess that's kind of like a multi-meaning kind of name, but novel is a fun word because I just like the idea of novelty, like something always being new. And I love wonder. I love capturing wonder through poetry, through photography, like finding things that are interesting to photograph and maybe taking normal moments and making them feel special. I think that's what poetry can also do as well.
Love that.
So, yeah.
So how did you get started, not only being a poet, but also bringing a typewriter out to these public events and like making poetry for complete strangers? Like how does that process begin?
Yeah, so I have a friend who works at Bedford Greenhouses, and about 2.5 years ago she just gave me this idea for their Valentine's Day event. She wanted to have one more vendor, and she was like, hey, I know you like writing poetry. She had seen that I write some poetry. I'll post it every once in a while on my Instagram. And so I think she knew that, and she was like, hey, I've seen this trend where some poets will bring a typewriter to an event or bring a typewriter to a street corner like a busker, and they will write poetry for people inspired by like a word prompt or inspired by a theme or a topic or something. So she was just saying like, hey, that would be kind of fun to do. If you want to, you can borrow my parents' typewriter. And I was like, sure. I just agreed to it because I thought it would be fun, but I guess I was a little nervous going into it, but that first day was really special. And I think it was the day that art became something that I could connect with people through rather than just a personal expression. So not that it wasn't a personal expression, but it became something that also connected with other people. So I was able to speak into something that was not as much me as poetry had always been before that. And so it was just a really special moment that I had prayed over before I did it, and then to see that prayer answered was like a confirmation that, okay, maybe I should keep trying this at different events.
All right, Cameron, so a question for you.
Sure.
If you are holding your camera right now, you are on the street, what's the first thing catch your eyes?
That's a great question. I think I usually look for the first tree that I can, so that I can like frame something with a tree in it. But then I also usually look for couples if I'm doing like a street photo. Nice. I don't do a ton of street photography, but if I do, I'm usually like looking for a couple or somebody doing something interesting, you know, and then like try to figure out how to frame them from there. So if it's someone standing on the street corner, I'll just like find a way to frame that person. I keep using the word frame because, frame by frame. Yeah.
You are on that. Exactly. As a photographer, you have to frame, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So is there any one photograph that you've taken that means the most to you? Like if there is, like, what are the stories behind some of your favorite pieces?
Yeah, I would say for me, my favorite photo I've probably ever taken is of my papa. It's a really simple photo I took on film. This was like 6 years ago, maybe. It was a while ago, but he is so genuinely laughing. It's really hard to get a genuine smile out of him if it's a posed photo, but he's genuinely laughing at my cousins and my brothers, and it's a really sweet moment. He's also wearing denim on denim, which is great. That's his signature look. And so it's just a sweet, fun photo of my papa that I really treasure, and it's personal to me. But outside of that, if I had to pick, like, gosh, I don't know if I have a favorite outside of that. I really like doing editorial photography and photography that's like inspired by a concept or a theme or something like that. Like something that's not necessarily real, but is made to, I guess, represent something real. So, like I did some editorial photos last year for an article or a journal that was written about the feeling of grief on Christmas morning whenever you lose someone. And so I did some photos of like a Christmas tree, a dead Christmas tree that had lights around it. So it was just like kind of my thematic way of sort of like representing that feeling.
You were talking a minute ago about shooting on film. Do you have a preference between digital and film?
I personally shoot more digital. It's a bit cheaper for one, but also I love editing, and so I put so much work into like a good color grade and a good like kind of like an aesthetic, of just like trying to figure out how should this photo feel, and I will edit film photos as well. There's a way to do that, but I typically just do digital just for the ease of it.
Yeah. What do you think informs your aesthetic?
Ironically, probably film. I think almost every digital photographer is trying to be a film photographer in some way. But I would say I love movies, so good cinematography. Speaking of frames, I love a good frame in a movie, and I want to like capture things that look like they could have been pulled from a still from a film. So I love movies. I would say that would be one of the other big inspirations when it comes to just the way that I shoot and the way that I kind of the color grading and the composition and stuff like that. Yeah.
Seriously, this is I like to ask this question because the feeling always as an artist, you always have a what do you call, like, hide message you want your what do you call, audience or your client or customer to feel it. So what's your message to them? What do you want them to feel from your work?
Sure. I would say for the message that I would like people to get from the work itself is pretty simple. It's just the idea of wonder, finding wonder in things. I think for me, I'm always trying to find wonder in things. I'm a very naturally curious person. I want to know all kinds of stuff, and I want to learn about things, and I want to see the beauty in this world,
Nice.
And I think the easiest, or maybe not the easiest, but the most I guess the most inspiring way to do that is to just walk outside, just to go to your own backyard, find wonder in the people around you, find wonder in the community and in the world. And so I think when it comes to, if someone comes up to me and they ask me for a custom poem at a market, or maybe they're at a wedding and it's a really quickly written piece, I just hope that they feel inspired, whether it's creatively inspired, whether it's emotionally or spiritually, whatever it is, I just hope they feel a little bit of inspiration, a little more excitement, or if it's because this does happen a lot, if it's like a more sobering, like sad poem I'm writing for them, maybe it's about a lost loved one or a pet or something like that, then hopefully it gets them more in touch with that feeling that they couldn't quite put into words. But whatever it is, I like for people to have like a sense of wonder, because I know how that feels for me when I discover something new, when I think about things in a different light.
Coming up next, we will talk to Cameron about his inspirations and the stories he'd like to tell.
If your camera could tell one story, what's your camera can tell? What story?
That's a good question. My camera could tell one story. What would it tell? Like a single frame, or what are you thinking for this, or just like a bunch of photos, or a movie, or do you want me to just answer it how I like?
Yeah, exactly. How do you like it to answer?
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say it'd be hard to pick for one photo. I would say every photographer has like their dream location or something like that, but I feel like that's kind of a boring answer. So I would say if I had to pick, I would say like a movie. I would make a movie, and I think it would be something like a science fiction movie, or I want to make a science fiction movie that is like more emotional and visceral. I think I like movies like Arrival, that have like an emotional layer to the science fiction aspect. Maybe something like that. I would love to make with a camera. I don't know. Hopefully that is a good answer. Yeah,
it is a good answer. So, by the way, what's your camera type?
So I shoot Canon.
Okay.
That's
a very typical question, by the way, for photographer.
Yes.
Which lenses do you prefer in your work?
I go back and forth on that. I would say 24 to 70 is like the easiest one. I usually I probably shoot on that the most, but recently I've been shooting on 50 millimeter.
Love that.
More.
1.4?
1.2.
Okay.
But I rarely ever go down to 1.2 just because the depth of field is going to be so shallow for something like that. But yeah, I love it. It's a sharp lens, and I love capturing people, and obviously the 50 millimeter is like the go-to for portraits for people. Yeah. And so I'd say probably that. I have a 5D Mark IV. I still haven't invested in a mirrorless camera, but I do have like a little Fuji point and shoot that I bring around places too. Yeah.
Go back around to your poetry.
Yeah.
So, what inspires your poetry? Like I said, it's a tough task to sit down and write something that you're passionate about, just to do for yourself, let alone to do for someone kind of on the spot. What kind of goes into that process, and what kind of prepares? How do you get prepared for a situation like that?
Yeah, great question. Also, I would say with poetry, a lot of it is instinct. So even though you know having a grasp on the English language is helpful for sure, or whatever language you're writing poetry in, the feeling of whatever the word is or the prompt that someone gives you, being able to kind of make an impression of that is really where I would say the magic happens. Because, like I said, before 2 years ago, I had never done that before, at least so spontaneously like that for someone else. And so I think what makes it work is to kind of trust the process of it and your creative instincts, and I would say when it comes to like a single word prompt, I kind of just think of how can I make this interesting, like if someone gives me a simple word like kindness, I want to kind of reverse engineer the word kindness a little bit. So I'll try to think of something in nature that could ultimately come across as being kind, or a concept that could be a metaphor for kindness. Mm-hmm. So there's all these different things that I think you can pull from. I'm actually not much of a reader, to be honest with you. I watch more movies than I read books. Mm-hmm. I have some poets that I really like to read, but I do write probably way more than I read. And I think it just comes from, I think it is important to have those inspirations for sure, and to be aware of kind of the artists and poets that come before you. But at the same time, I think it comes down to personal experience. Like, what is it that makes you special and the things that you really enjoy? And for me, that's like my faith. I'm a Christian, and so I love to pray. I love to speak to God. But I also love whimsical things like fairy tales, and I love nature. And kind of something you said earlier to me was like some of my work reminded you of like a romance novel or like an old book or something like that. And maybe it's a little on the nose to be called novel wonder in that case, but I think that feeling of, wanting to tell a story through things like that, that's also really something that excites me. Telling stories through poetry, like sneaking a fable into an image-heavy poem is really fun. I think poetry just kind of, it unravels the human language and then puts it back together. And it teaches us to see things in different lights that we're usually not accustomed to. And so that's the goal, is to try to make, basically, if someone comes to me with any word or prompt, is to make the feeling of that word unfamiliar to the person reading it, so that when they read it, they're reading it as something new, even though it's a familiar topic to them. Yeah. And Fujifilm sells digital cameras, but they feel like film. It's like the tactile feel of the camera, and they have like these presets that look like film photos straight out of camera. So it's kind of, you get that feeling from it. But I think everybody loves the authenticity thing, which kind of goes back to this idea of like poetry. I think that's one of the things that people have connected so much with, is just the feeling of authenticity. It's like, I'm going to give you a poem. It might have some typos in it. I might type over a wrong letter with the letter I meant to type. I might even retype it for you if I messed up enough. But they're getting something that wasn't written by AI. They're getting something.
Please no.
They're getting something that they couldn't have done themselves without the use of maybe like AI. And so AI could probably write something that's a lot cleaner, but it won't be human. So
it doesn't have that same soul to it.
All right, everyone, stay tuned. Next, we'll be talking with Cameron about what writing his poems has taught him.
So how did you get started writing poetry?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I was always interested in writing from a young age. I'm trying to think of what the first books were that I ever read, but I just liked writing down how I felt about things. I would listen to music. I listened to like a lot of punk rock when I was younger. And so, there's a lot of expressiveness in that kind of music. And so I would like write down how I was feeling, and I wanted to rhyme. I wanted to feel like a lyric or something like that. So maybe it started with more like just an appreciation for music. But ironically enough, like I don't know anything about music. So it sort of just branched out from there and went straight to poetry from there. And I think over the last few years, just writing it for people specifically, I've learned a lot more about poetry. So that's another kind of funny irony about this, is that poetry is not something that I am as knowledgeable about as something like photography or cinematography, but it's been a passion that has just grown and grown over the last few years. Is
any time someone ask you, a stranger, for example, ask you to write him poetry, and it's really touched your heart?
Yes, yeah, that happens a lot, actually. There's a few times it's happened where it's just really been quite special. I'll have to think for a moment here. I've written some poems for people who are using the poem to tell their partner that they're pregnant. So that's a fun one. You know, like I've done that a couple times, I think. So like a pregnancy announcement, which is just honoring to be able to write a poem about something like that. I would say there's some that I'm trying to think of one that's not too sad. I've written some that have been really, really sad. I've written some for like a few weeks ago or a few months ago. It's for a mom who lost her son. Wrote all about him. I've written for an infant that passed away, for the infant's mom. And I think the thing that amazes me the most about moments like that is I meet people who are so emotionally attuned in a way that even I'm not, as the one writing about it for them, you know. Because sometimes I think people want to get a poem so they can figure out what they're feeling, you know. But when that happens, it's kind of the opposite, where I get to see someone who's emotionally strong and emotionally attuned and has an experience that can teach me something about loss and about how to deal with loss and stuff like that. So sometimes I come away from those interactions and I'm like, I don't really know if that poem necessarily spoke exactly. I feel like they would do a better job of putting that into words than I just did. But so they kind of affect me more than anything else, if that makes sense. Maybe affects me more than the person. I remember this woman who told me about her infant who passed away, and she wanted me to write a letter to the infant in heaven.
It's hard.
Yeah, and so I wrote this poem for her, but when she told me, I started crying. And she was fine. Like she had a smile on her face, you know. I'm sure the process of going through grief has been like a lengthy one for her, but the strength that she showed to be able to share something like that so tenderly and trust me with that was really special. And so, you know, she really liked the poem, and I hope that it in some small way spoke to that moment of grief.
All right, Cameron. So our favorite way to end the show is with a Kevin Smith quote. And that quote is, "It costs you nothing to encourage an artist." And so with the opportunity to encourage a young artist, what would you say to encourage them to pursue, whether it be photography, artistry, or poetry in any capacity?
That's a great question, Josh. I would say, I know it's scary, but be vulnerable. That's really the only advice I would give, because I think that kind of captures everything in one statement. You know, art is so vulnerable because it's impossible to make art without putting yourself inside of it. Yeah. And so it can feel sometimes very exposing to put your art out into the world, whether you're a musician or a photographer or a painter or whatever it is, or a poet. But I would say that it's never going to become anything other than a personal experience for you if you keep it to yourself. And that's okay. Some artists like to, you know, some people like to paint in their bedroom and they don't really want to share it with anyone. They just want the catharsis of painting. But I would say that if you have a desire to share your art or to make any kind of career with it, you know, you're not going to be able to get by without being vulnerable. And I would say that it's not as scary as you think it is. It feels scary putting yourself out there into the world. You know, you're risking some bad YouTube comments here, or you're risking, you know, a professor giving you some critique that maybe feels a little, you know, like it hits too close to home. But whatever it is, it's all worth it, because art is this beautiful, messy thing. It's not supposed to be perfect. And I would say, so any young artist, like, just remember, it's not supposed to be perfect. You can be vulnerable, or if you can be vulnerable, let yourself be, and I think people will show up. I really do. I can count on one hand the negative experiences I've had writing live poetry on my typewriter. I mean, some people will laugh, or they'll be like, I don't really understand. What are you doing? Like, are you using ChatGPT or what? And I'm like,
really?
but like most people, they're curious, and they're like, oh, this is like a different form of art. I want to take this in and look at this and appreciate it. And those people will never be able to do that if you don't share it. So
thank you so much, Cameron. We appreciate it. Thank you for being on the show.
Thanks, Josh. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
It's great to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Good to see you again. Yeah.
Where people can find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Novel Wonder on Instagram, and my website is novelwonder.com. And so, that's where you can book the live poetry booth for your events. So if you have a wedding or another private event that you would want me to be at, or you can book photography right there.
Awesome. Good.
Awesome.
High five.
High five.
Let's go.
Dania. Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you so much. All right, everyone, we really enjoy this episode with Cameron. What do you think, Josh?
Oh, it was a blast, man. Cameron was such a delightful person to talk to. I love his style, and I love that he's bringing in, a different kind of way to express poetry and just like bringing it out there as almost like a performance. So I had a blast. I thought it was a lot of fun.
He's very authentic, and he's also present his brand, Novel Wonder, very good. I feel like
he seems like a very genuine person. Yes. And if you would like to be a genuine person who comes and chat with us, you can go ahead and shoot us an email over at jrecor@wjbf.com or
dlaware@wjbf.com.
All right. You can also find us on Instagram. Look for Frame by Frame. So thank you guys so much for joining us. And
as always, keep creating and